the billionaire CEO who took 200 beautiful women home every day to cure his illness. The city's skyline glittered like a sea of diamonds under the setting sun, each glass tower reflecting the fiery glow of twilight. From his office in the tallest skyscraper, Li Gen, CEO of Gen Corporation, looked down at the bustling streets with a mixture of pride and dissatisfaction. At 43, he had achieved what most could only dream of: billions in assets, control over international markets, and influence that could sway governments. Yet behind the calm and commanding man in tailored suits, Li Gen carried a secret burden no money could alleviate. A peculiar and unrelenting illness that no doctor had been able to cure. For over 15 years, the illness had controlled his life. It began subtly, with inexplicable fatigue, headaches, and a strange ache in his chest. But over time, it grew into a torment he could not ignore. Specialists were summoned from all over the world. Ancient remedies were tested, and medical procedures were attempted. Nothing worked. Then, a mysterious master, an old healer rumored to understand both the body and the spirit, gave him an answer that sounded like a fable. Only a woman with a red blossom birthmark on her waist can cure you. Li Gen almost laughed, but the sharp pain in his chest reminded him that desperation left little room for skepticism. So he decided not to dismiss the master's words as nonsense. If this was the key to salvation, he would find her, even if it consumed his fortune, his reputation, and his peace of mind. And so began a ritual that would define his existence. Every day, without fail, 200 women were brought to his penthouse. Models, actresses, students, anyone who caught his eye. Each was examined meticulously, their features scrutinized, their waists inspected for the telltale mark. Days turned into months, months into years. His family fortune dwindled, his company teetered on the edge of instability, and rumors spread through the city. But Li Gen pressed on, driven by the unrelenting hope that somewhere in the world, the woman who could save him was waiting. Yet decade after decade, the peach blossom remained elusive. It was on a gray, windy morning, the kind that seemed to bring a warning, that Li Gen decided, almost on a whim, to take a drive through the countryside. He rarely went beyond the cold glass and steel of the city. Life among the tall buildings was safe, orderly, and predictable. But today, that order felt like a cage. A restless pain gnawed at him, the kind that no luxury or shallow pleasure could reach. Maybe it was the weight of 10 years of failure pressing on his chest, or the constant empty feeling of loneliness. Or maybe it was just the desperate need to feel something real, something untouched by money, by power, or by short-lived desires. The narrow country roads twisted like veins through fields of ripening crops. Tall stalks of wheat and barley swayed in the strong wind, and the air was heavy with the smell of wet earth and the promise of rain. The world felt quieter here, without the fake noise of the city. Yet in that quiet, his own thoughts were louder than ever. He held the steering wheel tighter, as if gripping it could calm the chaos inside him. Then, without warning, a small movement caught his eye. A young woman, tiny and fragile in the wide fields, walked along the roadside, her hair flying around her face in the wind. She didn't notice the car coming, lost in her own world, humming maybe, or just carrying the weight of her own thoughts. Panic rushed through him. He slammed the brakes, twisting the wheel with desperate force. The tires screamed, digging angry grooves into the wet road. Time seemed to stretch. Her wide, surprised eyes reflected in the rain-covered windshield, her hand raised to protect herself. The car skidded violently, sliding across the narrow road as Li Jian fought to regain control. The world spun in a nauseating blur of gray sky and golden fields. A massive, gnarled tree loomed out of nowhere, and before he could think, the car slammed into it with a deafening crunch. Glass shattered, metal twisted, and the impact drove him forward into darkness. For a moment, there was nothing but the ringing in his ears and the acrid scent of smoke and crushed leaves. And then, slowly, as consciousness ebbed and flowed, the wind outside seemed impossibly loud, whispering secrets he was too weak to understand. The crash had changed something, though he could not yet know what. When he awoke, the world was unfamiliar. The air smelled of smoke and herbs, and the soft chirping of birds replaced the hum of city traffic. His head throbbed, and a wave of nausea made him clutch his stomach. Sitting up, he realized his car had disappeared, replaced by a quaint village setting. Stone cottages, flowering gardens, and people who stared at him with cautious curiosity. A sudden sharp pain shot through his chest. The illness, dormant for a few hours during his unconsciousness, flared with a vengeance. Gasping, he stumbled outside, clutching his torso, when his eyes fell upon a figure tending to a wound on the side of the road. It was the woman, the very woman who had caused his accident. Her hair was tied back simply, clothes practical and slightly worn, yet there was a radiance to her that no city woman could match. As she bent down, she winced and touched her arm, her own minor injury from the near collision, and then Li Jian saw it. A red blossom-shaped birthmark on her waist. It was as if the universe had conspired in that single miraculous moment. 10 years of searching, of unending disappointment, of relentless obsession had led him here, to her. Pain and weakness gave way to adrenaline, and without thinking, he rushed forward, his eyes fixed on the delicate mark. The woman recoiled, her hands instinctively shielding herself. "Wait!" she exclaimed, voice trembling. What are you doing?" I need to see," he stammered, voice hoarse from years of illness and the strain of the crash. "I've been looking for this, for you, for 10 years." She widened her eyes in fear. Li Jian realized how terrifying his desperation must have seemed. He stopped abruptly, the fervor in his eyes meeting a wall of suspicion. Slowly, he backed away, holding up his hands in surrender. "I'm sorry," he said, voice low and sincere. "I should not have frightened you. My name is Li Jian. I am sick, terribly sick, and you are the only one who can help me." The woman hesitated, unsure whether to flee or to respond. But there was something in his eyes, a vulnerability no amount of money, power, or short-lived desires could hide. Finally, she spoke. "My name is Mei Ling. I don't know anything about curing illnesses." "Please," Li Jian said, his voice almost a whisper. "I don't want money, I don't want fame, I just need your help." Over the next few days, Mei Ling tended to him. He stayed at her humble home, unable to leave due to the severity of his illness. It was here, away from the city's opulence and the empty facades of his previous pursuits, that Li Jian truly began to understand life again. The illness that had once been a curse now brought clarity. Watching Mei Ling move through her day, cooking, tending the garden, helping villagers, he saw a life of simplicity and kindness he had never known. She did not judge him for his wealth or his obsession, nor for the extravagant lifestyle he had led. She simply acted with compassion, the kind of genuine care money could never buy. And then, finally, the moment came. Standing in the garden, as the sun dipped below the horizon,
Li Zhen felt the strange warmth in his chest begin to ease. The pain that had been his constant companion for 10 years lessened. It was subtle at first, then undeniable. The peach blossom mark, the ancient master's words, and Mei Ling's presence, somehow it worked. He turned to her, eyes shining with gratitude. You're the one. I don't know how it's possible, but thank you. You saved me. Mei Ling's lips curved in a small smile, but she shook her head. It wasn't magic. It was faith and care. You had to be willing to see beyond your wealth, beyond your obsession. Li Zhen laughed softly, a sound that hadn't left his throat in years. After 10 years, I understand that now. But I also understand that I can't let you leave without showing how much you mean to me. From his pocket, he pulled out a small velvet case. Inside was a ring, simple yet elegant, symbolizing sincerity and devotion. Mei Ling, will you marry me? Her eyes widened, and for a long moment she was speechless. Finally, she nodded, a tear slipping down her cheek. Yes, I will. To atone for the 10 years of reckless obsession, the years in which he had allowed his desires to blind him and his loneliness to harden him, Li Zhen gave Mei Ling a sum of money so vast that even the wealthiest figures in the city would be stunned. $300 million. It was not a bribe, not an attempt to smooth over guilt with material excess. It was something far deeper, a testament to his love, a pledge of sincerity, and a promise that her life would now be protected from every uncertainty that had haunted her past. In that gesture, Li Zhen poured all the remorse, hope, and devotion he had hoarded for a decade, letting it take shape in something tangible, something undeniable. Word of their union spread like wildfire. Society's whispers, the curious glances, and the gossiping tongues all swirled around them, yet Li Zhen no longer cared. For the first time in years, a quiet calm settled within him, a stillness he long thought impossible. The endless pursuit of fleeting pleasure, the need for 100 meaningless encounters, the shallow distractions that had once defined his existence, they no longer held sway. He had found what he had been unconsciously seeking all along. Not wealth, not conquest, but love, a genuine connection, a person who could reach the deepest corners of his heart, who could complete him in ways no fortune, no obsession, no illusion ever could. Mei Ling, for her part, stepped into his life not as a trophy or an afterthought, but as a partner, a true companion who shared both his burdens and his dreams. She helped him transform his wealth from a source of indulgence into a tool for good, channeling it toward healing, hope, and opportunities for those who had been overlooked, forgotten, or broken by the world. Together, they built more than an empire. They built a legacy of kindness, responsibility, and love that extended far beyond themselves. Every morning, as the first golden rays of sunlight spilled over the rolling hills of their estate, Li Zhen would glance at the mark that had brought them together. A symbol, a scar, a moment that had forever changed the course of his life. It reminded him daily of patience, of fate's quiet work, and of the fragile yet miraculous nature of the human heart. In that reflection, he saw not only the woman who had saved him from himself, but the life he had longed for without truly knowing it, a life filled with love, redemption, and the profound truth that some treasures, those of the heart, were worth more than all the riches in the world. The city continued its relentless pace, and the legend of Li Zhen, the CEO who once searched for a cure among 100 women each day, became a story whispered with awe and disbelief. Yet those who knew the truth understood the lesson hidden in his journey. True healing comes not from obsession or wealth, but from connection, kindness, and the serendipitous grace of fate. And somewhere in the countryside, amidst flowers and sunlight, a man and a woman lived a life neither had imagined, together, whole, and finally free from the shadows of the past.